All right, well, we've got one attendee so far, and we can go ahead and get started. For some reason, I'm just letting the panelists know my settings are locked to share. But you all have access? Okay, we'll just go ahead and start with the housekeeping information. So I'm April Ponte, and I'm the moderator for tonight for your session. So just to start with the housekeeping information of how the session will go. For the virtual college exploration participants for tonight, thank you so much for being here. The way that you're going to go ahead and ask questions tonight is by using the Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time, and the presenters will have some more instructions on that as well. Something to note is that your camera and microphone as a participant are off, so you are muted and your video is off. The panelists cannot see or hear you. So again, the best way to ask a question would be through the Q&A button. Just as a reminder, you can still sign up for more sessions throughout this month for the virtual college exploration event. So go ahead and check out the schedule at IACAC.org. And then just as a reminder as well, there will be a recording available afterwards. So all sessions are being recorded and will be available at IACAC.org as well. So we'll go ahead and turn over the presentation to our presenters for easing the transition from high school to a 2-year, 4-year institution.
Bonnie, you're muted.
I lost my video screen, so hold on one second. There we go. Okay, sorry. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about easing the transition from high school to the community college or to a 4-year institution. So students who know they're going to go to a community college or aren't sure but may be looking at community colleges, we're here to help you kind of with that transition. Before we get started, there's a couple slides I would like to take you through, and thank you. So first question, we have some questions for you, and feel free to answer these questions in the chat box. Is this how you feel when you're thinking about college? Are you nervous about going to a community college and then transferring? Are you worried about how difficult these transitions can be? If you guys are worried, you're not alone. We just want you to know that you can, next screen, that you don't need to worry anymore. We're going to share with you the ways that community college and 4-year institutions help ease the transition throughout the transfer process. So before we get started, a couple things as well. If you do have a question, feel free to put it in the chat box, and we will be answering some questions privately and then sharing some at the end. So we're going to get started with introductions.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabby Hurtado. I'm the recruiting manager at Blackhawk College's Quad Cities campus. We have 2 campuses, and we're a public 2-year community college. Our first campus is in Moline, Illinois, and we're known as the Quad Cities campus. And our second campus is in Galva, Illinois, and they have a little bit of a different focus. They offer agricultural programs. They offer programs like veterinary technology, or if you're looking at getting involved in things like livestock judging. So again, if you're looking at some more of the agricultural programs, our East Campus location is an incredible option. As a community college, we offer transfer and career options for students. So our transfer programs, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on, are really meant for students that want to transfer onto a 4-year school. And then we also offer career options for students that are maybe thinking about maybe short-term programs like nursing or physical therapy assistant or welding. And we are an NJCAA athletic school. So if you're looking at playing a sport in college, that is certainly an opportunity available at Blackhawk College. And of course, we do have student clubs and organizations. We certainly want students to get involved. So we offer different leadership opportunities, which we'll talk about later on in the presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gabby. My name is Cassie Daly, and I am from Western Illinois University, and we are a regional public institution here in the state of Illinois. We are considered a small to mid-sized university. We do have 2 campus locations. Our main campus is in Macomb, Illinois, and our second campus is in the Quad Cities, right in Moline, right along the Mississippi River. At our main campus in Macomb, Illinois, we have over 250 clubs and organizations that students can get involved with. And then at our Quad Cities campus, we have about 20 organizations that students here locally in the QCs can be a part of as well. Our main campus in Macomb is home to Division I athletics for men's and women's sports. And then for our main campus in Macomb, we have over 60 majors that students are able to select and have emphases in. And then here in the Quad Cities, we have about 19 different majors that students can pursue in the QC area. No matter which campus you're on, there are opportunities for student-led research, no matter where you are at. And I told you who I am, but I didn't tell you my role here at Western, and I am the Interim Director of Transfer Services here at Western.
Great, and hi everyone. My name is Bonnie Jesse. I'm Associate Director of Transfer Enrollment at Augustana College. Augustana is a private liberal arts college located in the Quad Cities. Unlike the other 2 schools, we only have 1 institution. We are located on a 115 acres campus. So when people visit, they're usually surprised by how big the campus is. We have 2,500 students. We offer 90 majors and areas of study. We have 150 clubs and organizations on campus, anything from religious clubs, athletic clubs, service clubs, so it kind of depends on whatever you're looking for. We have a club for that. We have 12 music ensembles, and we're NCAA Division III athletics, and we have 26 varsity athletic teams. At Augustana, you'll have the opportunity to balance so you can do it all and do it well. You'll be provided advisors and mentors so you can reach your goals. There's amazing opportunities for adventure to explore like never before. And at Augustana College, we have Augie Choice, $2,000 in Augie Choice money. So we give our students $2,000 to participate in internships, study abroad, or research, helping students be able to explore those opportunities.
And so today what we're going to be talking about is really for a lot of you students that are thinking about wanting to start at a community college and then looking at the different options available at the 4-year public university and then also at the 4-year private. So starting off, we'll really look at Blackhawk and how the different options are available for students after they graduate from high school.
Okay. Kind of a little bit more about the Illinois Articulation Initiative, just a 4-year look at it. Western Illinois University is a member of the Illinois Articulation Initiative, and basically what this is, kind of the little infographic there on the right-hand side, it's just basically saying that if a course has an IAI code on it, then if Speech 101 at, say, Blackhawk College comes to Western Illinois University as Communication 241, which is, it basically means it's the same class. It's a match for match class. So we accept IAI courses. We also offer IAI courses. So if a student starts with Western and then they decide to transfer elsewhere because they've changed their major or and just made a different selection, then they can take those IAI courses with them to other institutions. What's really nice is for IAI purposes, if you're looking at any type of dual enrollment, then having a course with this code on it helps it transfer really nicely to both public and private institutions and can help with meeting some of your general education requirements. If you fulfill what's known as the general education core curriculum through IAI. I won't get into a lot of that, but just a little bit of a background that we can take it at the public or private level.
Bonnie, you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. So talking about the private level, at private institutions, they can be full members, they can be partial members, or they might not be members at all. So at Augustana, we are actually just new membership there. So we are actually a receiving only institution. So what that means is students transferring to Augustana that have successfully completed the IAI's general education package will have fulfilled several of our general education requirements. But when we receive transcripts, our registrar will look at a transcript and equate it on a course-by-course basis. So qualifying transfer courses may also be applied to college graduation requirements as well as major requirements. What's really important is always work with your transfer college at the four-year institution, especially if you're looking at a private institution who may not be a full IAI member.
All right, and so if you're wondering what does all of this mean, immediately when you're kind of starting out in the early stages. So if your first step is going to be a community college like Blackhawk, we offer over 50 different degree pathways for students that are wanting to transfer on. A large majority of our students want to do just that. Their goal at Blackhawk is to transfer on to a four-year school. And so within that program, we offer a few different options for students looking at transferring. The first option is for students to go ahead and complete their general education core classes. That typically can take maybe a semester or even up to a year. That's really a great option for students that are undecided, that aren't really sure maybe where they want to transfer to, or if you're just looking for a more affordable route. And so the second option is for students that maybe want to earn an associate's degree. So you automatically know that your goal is to really spend your freshman, sophomore year at a community college and then transfer out at your junior level. You would want to earn an associate's degree, which takes about 60 credit hours. And like I said, that's about a 2-year program. Now, the third option is for students that know exactly what they want to major in and where they want to go. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into what these options kind of look like as you're working with advisors to start selecting your classes. All right, so if you're wondering, what are the transfer classes? What does all of this mean, right? And so to pull it all together, this is just a small snapshot of a packet that we give to our transfer students. So even if you know exactly what you want to study, or even if you're undecided, you'll really follow the same pattern, similar to what you do with your counselors in high school. You're making sure that you're meeting so many English requirements, fine arts, physical education, science courses, math classes. So this is really what transfer classes look like. If you speak to anybody that has a bachelor's degree, they most likely had to take composition courses or speech classes. They'll remember their fine arts course. And so these are really those basic required classes that you can take at the community college level. And these are meeting those general education core courses as you look at transferring to the 4-year. And so that third option that I talked about is for students, again, that maybe you know exactly what you want to major in and exactly where you want to go. These are just 2 quick examples that show you what a transfer guide and agreement look like. Our transfer guides and agreements are created with that host college, so it's not something the Blackhawk creates on our own. We do work with the 4-year schools, typically within the state of Illinois, and that's really the big focus of the IAI, the Illinois Articulation Initiative, is that partnership that community colleges have with 4-year institutions. And so by following a transfer guide, what you're doing is, again, you're selecting the general education core classes, but you also may get a mixture of some of your major courses, as well as some elective courses. And so it really gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to explore. But again, if you know exactly what you want to study and where you want to go, you can certainly follow a transfer guide, which outlines specifically what you should be taking at the community college level, and then also what that equivalent is going to look like at the 4-year school. Now, some of those courses that I talked about might look pretty familiar: English composition, speech. You may be enrolled in either a dual credit or a dual enrollment program in your high school. Dual credit is where you're earning high school and college credit. This is typically offered through your local community college, but you may also be enrolled in dual enrollment, where you may be on your own or taking college classes through a 2-year or a 4-year institution. Keep in mind that dual credit and dual enrollment are not the same as your AP courses. And if you're not really sure which you are enrolled in, make sure that you stop by and talk to your counselors. That's going to be an important note for you to have as you especially look at graduating and applying to the different schools. Because within the dual credit and dual enrollment program, you really are starting your college transcript. And so that can really impact your academics at the college level, and also programs that we offer. And we'll talk a little bit more about Phi Theta Kappa on the next slide. So our Phi Theta Kappa can really, again, start at that dual credit level. So if you're taking those English composition courses or your speech classes, you may be selected for this. And if you're wondering, what does that mean? Phi Theta Kappa is the Collegiate National Honor Society. So national honor roll that you experience in high school, we do practice that at the college level. And students are really selected based on their academics, which is why this is important if you are enrolled in dual credit or dual enrollment classes, because again, it gives you an opportunity to apply for different scholarships. At the college level, there may be on-campus leadership opportunities. This is a picture of our PTK students. They attended a conference in Chicago. And so again, really a great way for you to get involved. But again, from the dual credit level or dual enrollment, or if you are involved in AP courses, it's important to understand how those grades or those test scores can really impact you as you look at graduation.
And so Gabby kind of gave a nice segue when she was talking about dual credit and dual enrollment. And I just kind of wanted to address on a four-year public side that the way that we take dual credit and how dual enrollment works may be a little bit different from institution to institution. So specifically at WIU, we're going to accept those dual credit classes as they come in, as long as you've taken those dual credit courses at an accredited institution, that you've earned a passing grade. Passing grades are we do have what we call the C rule for our English composition courses. So if you have taken English comp, we want you to make sure that you have a C or better in that class. Then any other rest of the classes that you may take for dual credit, we just want you to make sure that you have a passing grade. When you transfer in the class, we transfer in the credit, not the GPA at this level, and we do not use your dual credit. Now, this is specifically at Western, and it may be different at other places, but we specifically do not use your dual credit in considering you for admission to the university. So, if you have taken dual credit and maybe you just had a struggle with the class, just know that that particular course at Western is not going to count against you in your admissions decision. It just may mean that the course may or may not transfer depending on that grade. It's also important to note that even though you may have dual credit courses, if you have 20 or 30 or 40 dual credits or in a full associate's degree, when you come in, if you're going to be a first-year student and you didn't take any credit outside of high school, then you are considered for freshman admissions, and freshman enrollment and scholarships will still apply there. WIU offers what we call dual enrollment, and the difference between dual credit and dual enrollment, as Gabby pointed out, is that dual credit you get high school and college credit for, but dual enrollment you will only get college credit for, and it's up to the high school to determine how they will take that credit back if they want to utilize that on your transcript. So segueing into some scholarship opportunities for transfer students, and just kind of the opportunities for students to kind of come as a transfer student from Blackhawk or from a community college. And with those transfer scholarship opportunities, just kind of a quick list. And I think it's important that you look at those opportunities for scholarships as you're looking to be a transfer student, because there's going to be different amounts and opportunities based on the level that you're at and the participation level that you're going through. Phi Theta Kappa, as Gabby mentioned, there's some general scholarships. So some of our scholarships at the transfer level are automatic scholarships. And so you don't have to do anything other than fill out the admissions application and send us your transcript information. Just some quick information about WIU. Our average financial aid award package is a little over $17,000 when you apply and utilize the FAFSA form. And there's additional scholarship opportunities within music, athletics, and even club sports here at Western. For our other scholarships, kind of a good example is our Leatherneck Visitor Scholarship. You do have to do a little something for this because we want you to come and do a visit with us. So whether you do a come to campus and do an individualized tour, or you take advantage of some of our virtual opportunities, there's definitely a lot of scholarship opportunities out there for transfer students as you come in. I wanted to take just a quick moment to talk about the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program. We call this TAG at Western Illinois University, and there are many tagged type programs or guaranteed transfer programs at other four-year institutions. At Western, we consider this TAG program an opportunity for students that want to go to the community college first, but they know that they want to transfer to Western. So, or they're pretty sure they want to transfer to Western. So the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program allows a student to sign up as a freshman or somewhere before you've earned 30 credits. And basically it doesn't commit you to Western, it just says, hey, I'm interested. And what we do is we monitor you as you go through and have you send unofficial transcripts to us each semester. And we're going to send you back an individualized degree plan, an evaluation of the credits so you know how those credits are going to come over. And then there is also a scholarship opportunity within the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program where you can earn a $1,000 scholarship if you're part of this TAG program. So there are GPA requirements. You still have to meet the entering requirements to be a transfer student when it's time to make the transition. But with the Transfer Admission Guarantee, like they mentioned, there's a lot of other four-year institutions that offer these programs and definitely worth looking into. For the transfer process, when you're looking to go on after your community college experience, there are a few steps to apply. It's filling out an admissions application online. And just as a quick plug, Western does have a free application month going on right now. So we'll be waiving the application fee the entire month of October. Kind of a little shout out and appreciation to Transfer Student Appreciation Week. And then we're going to want you to send official transcripts to us so we can make the decision based on your GPA, and then provide a schedule of any classes that you're currently enrolled in. For the requirements to get in, you do have to have at least 24 credit hours or more. Different four-year institutions will have different markers on what's considered a transfer student, but for Western, we're 24 credit hours or more. And then a cumulative GPA. So cumulative GPA means everything from the very first class you have taken to the very last class that you've taken, and what the GPA is over all of those credits. And then we want you to be in good standing at the last institution that you have attended. So that's super important. And then what happens next? So you've gone through the application process, and where do you go from here? So what will happen next is that your courses will be evaluated from the community college, and we're going to send you that in the mail. And so you will have actually a paper copy, and a electronic copy will be in your student account, so your student portal, so you can view that multiple places. And then you're going to register with an advisor. And I think that's what's important to talk about with your transfer institution is how the registration process goes. At Western, we pair you up with an individualized advisor based on your major, and they stick with you through your program. And so that way you don't have to figure out how to register and what classes to take all on your own. You have an academic advisor with you every step of the way. Then we'll have you attend an orientation session so you know a little bit more about the institution, how to navigate here at Western, or where that may ever, your transfer plans may take you. And then transfer students are eligible at our main campus in Macomb to live on campus. So at the Quad Cities campus, we do not offer residential housing, but we do have that option at our main campus in Macomb. And so transfer students, we welcome them to live on campus. It's a great way to meet people, make that transition. But if you have earned over 60 credit hours or more, then you're not required to live on campus, and you're able to live off campus. And then you basically are going to set up any additional resources that you may need. That may be if there is some test taking accommodations that you've had the opportunity to have in high school and need to set those up, then we can help you at that time as well.
Thank you, Cassie. So I'm actually going to cover kind of the same things Cassie did, but I'm going to cover it on the private side. So Augustana does offer, accept dual credit. We do not have dual enrollment. So again, we do accept dual credit from accredited institution, just like Western. That's very important. There's an unlimited number of credits that students can bring in, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. Students must submit an official transcript, and then the official transcript is sent for evaluation to our registrar. We accept grades of C or better. So if you earned a C- or below in a class that we would normally take, that will not come in. The credits transfer, but not the GPA. And then it is included as part of our admission decision, unlike Western's. So students who are high school students that have taken dual credits and are applying to Augustana are applying as first-year students. And as I mentioned, you can bring as many credits as you want, but certainly high school credit students typically don't have more than 60 credits. But when you apply as a first-year student, as a high school student with dual credit, you are treated as a first-year student for scholarship, housing, orientation, registration, and more. Transfer students who have dual credits from high school and then continue at the community college and have additional credits certainly might be bringing in more than 60 credits. That is certainly fine at Augustana College. Students have to have 124 credits to graduate here, and 60 credits have to be earned at Augustana to get an Augustana degree. So what that means is if a student is bringing in, let's say, 90 credits, they still have to get 60 credits from Augustana, so they would be graduating with 150 credits. So way more than what they really need, but because we have that 60 credit limit at Augustana, that's just how it would work out. But transfer students are treated as a transfer student, which means they would apply as a transfer student and then go through orientation with the transfer student group. And then housing is based on the year that you would graduate high school. So you'd be placed in housing based on high school graduation year. Scholarships and awards. So Augustana does award academic scholarships up to $25,000 a year. When we're reading applications and making decisions, those are awarded at the time of a decision. So when you get accepted to Augustana College, if you qualify for any academic scholarship, you will know that in your acceptance letter. We also have a Phi Theta Kappa award. Ours is $3,500 per year. At private institutions, you'll see these numbers all over the place. So some institutions will have lower academic scholarships and much higher Phi Theta Kappa awards. It just kind of depends on where you're looking. So really important, if you are a Phi Theta Kappa member or you invited to be a Phi Theta Kappa member, really take advantage of that because most institutions will have some sort of Phi Theta Kappa award. We also have fine art scholarships for majors and non-majors in art, music, and theater. And then there's a bunch of other different grants and awards that we have, and some do require some work on your part. Our campus visit grants, you do have to come to campus for a visit. We have a scholarship competition that's coming up. We usually have them in November and January, and you compete for a scholarship by your major. Students who are undecided then compete with a group of students who are undecided. For transfer students, they're separated out, so you wouldn't compete by major, but you would compete with all the other transfer students. They won't let transfer students compete with first-year students because of the advantage of having additional coursework. We also have an early filers award, so when students file the free application for federal student aid, if you get that to us by November 1st, you get an early filers award, and then we also have an out-of-state award of $2,000 for students from out of state. In addition, there's Augustana grant money, so we do encourage all students to file the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, and if you qualify for any additional need-based aid, that is available as well through Augustana College. So just kind of giving you a quick snapshot, most students think of private college, I can't afford it, but it really can be an affordable option. So here's a quick snapshot. This would be a student who is a really high achieving student with a high need. Our 2021 tuition and fees is just over $45,000. A highest achieving student with a 3.6 recalculated GPA or above would get our Bell Tower scholarship of $25,000 with the Phi Theta Kappa award and the other awards, and then the federal Pell Grant and MAP grant from the state of Illinois. A student could really have total gift aid of $41,785, where they would have then their costs be for tuition and fees $3,351. So that's usually surprises most students, but we're really very competitive with some of the state institutions. So this does exclude work study and then loans that a student might qualify after filing the FAFSA as well. So our transfer process, our application guidelines, students with a 2.5 GPA or better are typically accepted. We say you need 12 college credits. Usually any student who has had at least one semester at a college or university is considered a transfer student. Even though a transfer student may have had a full-time semester at a community college, does not mean that all of those courses are coming in. So a student may be taking 15 credits depending on the courses that you took, really might only be bringing in 6 credits. That's a possibility. But for the most part, as long as you're taking courses that fall under the IAI, most of those credits will all come in. Steps to apply. So students need to fill out the transfer application, send the final official high school transcript to Augustana, official college or university transcript as well. And then we also highly recommend an admissions interview. So when we're reading applications, we really want to get to know the students that are interested in Augustana. And part of that reason is we want to make sure that you fit here as much as we hopefully fit for you. So the interview really kind of helps us get to know students better and to see if we have the things that those students are interested in. So that's really important for us as admissions counselors to get to know our students. So we highly encourage the admissions interview. I hate that we call it an interview. It's really us just chatting with you about you to see what you like and what you don't like and things like that. Once it decide on Augustana, can you guys hear me still?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, something just happened weird with my screen, but once students are admitted, they would, if they decide to enroll at Augustana, they'll submit their enrollment deposit. And then we do have orientation, registration. Typically that would be during the summer months. Housing is included with orientation and registration. And then prior to enrolling in the fall, we have welcome week. We also have that in the spring, but it's not a welcome week. It's more like a welcome couple of days. And then semester classes would begin. So students come to welcome week the Thursday before classes start. All new students to campus are here, getting acquainted and with their academic advisor. They're meeting in their advising groups, meeting with their peer mentors, but also getting familiar with the Quad Cities as well as Augustana. So when classes begin, they're comfortable and ready to go. Okay, so all this information that we discussed, we've kind of put together a transfer student game plan. So you heard most of us talk about accreditation. That is really important. So when you're looking at schools, make sure that school is accredited, because Augustana will not accept credits from a school that's not accredited. So that's really important. I've seen transcripts with 40, 50 credits on there, and we won't accept any credits because it was this institution was not accredited. So that's really, really important. One thing that we also agreed on is it's really important when you're in high school to visit colleges, even if you know you're going to be enrolled at your community college, visit other institutions, because if you know where you want to go after that community college, it's really going to help you a lot more with the transition process from the community college to the 4-year. If you still haven't figured it out in high school, visit colleges while you're at the community college. Also, it's really important to talk with your high school counselor, your transfer advisor at the community college, and your transfer admissions counselor at the 4-year institution. I'm talking to students all the time at the community college. I'm sure Cassie is as well. Just to make sure that they're taking the right courses that we know will transfer here. But it's really important to have those connections. Also seek out resources, financial and academic, scholarships, grants, loans. In addition to institution scholarships, look for outside scholarships as well. I always tell my students I'm working with, check your bank, check your, where your parents may work if there's scholarships available. But there's also websites for outside scholarships as well. So I really encourage you to do that as well. Ask the institutions how your credits transfer, how AP credits transfer, how your dual credits would transfer, and how your college credits transfer. You don't want to be going to a college not knowing how your coursework is coming in. That's really important to know. So make sure you know that before you're transferring as well. If you know your major, connect with the four-year college university faculty member or an advisor in that major. I know Augustana, our faculty are really willing and happy to talk with prospective students. So if you're looking at an institution and you want to be able to start making those connections with faculty while you're at the community college, that certainly is something that you can do at several institutions. So don't be afraid to reach out and find out who those people are and make some connections with them. Also, get involved at your community college. That's really important as well. I know sometimes that's really hard. Students are working sometimes full-time or multiple jobs, but if you can, try to get involved to some extent at the community college as well. And then it's really okay to be undecided. Students leaving high school who are undecided and going to the community college, that's perfectly fine. Augustana, we like undecided students because they're more open to take courses in different areas, which is probably a liberal arts education. So it's really okay to be undecided until it's that point where you need to declare a major. And usually by that time, it's sophomore year, possibly late sophomore year. But once you have that major decided, by then you've had so many classes, you're pretty sure what it is. So it's really okay as you're leaving high school to be undecided. That is all we have. I don't see any questions. Does anyone, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. Cassie, I'm going to share the last screen that has our contact information on it. So here's, whoops, oh no. Let's get to the end. So here's all our contact information. Certainly if you guys have questions specifically for any of us, feel free to reach out to us. But we really thank you for joining us. There are no questions. Certainly if you have some, feel free to reach out to us individually. We'd be happy to find the answers for you.
All right, if there's no questions, a huge thank you to our panelists. So much great information. And thank you to our participants as well for joining us today. So let me see if I can go ahead and share a screen. I think now it's working awesome. Okay, so just a final farewell and some information for all of you. Thank you again for joining us for our presentation tonight. After you close this window, there's going to be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear. We'd really appreciate if you were able to provide responses and feedback for us to review later. And as mentioned before, there will be more sessions for college admissions information. So you can check out the schedule at IACAC.org. And again, all those sessions and the recording for tonight will be available at IACAC.org as well. Thank you all so much and have a great night.
Bye, guys.
All right. Yeah. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Great
Have a good night.
job. Bye.